Good morning. Okay, let's see how today's stream is gonna go. I have decided to use a different ingest server for Twitch, and I do hope well, this is a relay server, so it's not a Twitch server directly, because the one I was connecting to, it seems like it didn't really like connecting to South Africa, or South Africa didn't like connecting to it. So we'll see how this goes. Now, first of all, let's just get Unity open, because I also restarted everything now, and that's why I'm a bit late. So we need to reopen Unity. I need to go find my to-do list. Yeah, because yesterday and the day before, the Twitch servers, well, it was a nightmare, right? So hopefully this is going to be way better. See if I can get this mic to be in the right place. Okay, where's Notion? There's Notion. So we've got that open at least, and Unity is going to take a while. So let's not hold our breath. Let's see, I need to get my posture a little bit better at least than this. Okay, there we go. Okay, we can go to this screen, I guess. What else did I have to open? This? No, that's fine. Okay, let's go to this screen. Let's get rid of that thing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this seems good. This seems good. Okay. Let's have a look at our to-do list and start our tracker. So we've done a lot of things. Now, I want to try and finish the game loop today. And what I mean by that is just basically I need you to be able to start a game in some sense, like the way we start a game, not necessarily going to get to main menu stuff. Then I want to be able to play the game, and then when you fight the boss, I want there to be I want the boss fight to go the way that I want it to go, right? With the player being able to switch characters during the fight, right? So that's the idea. So let's see how this is working. So we basically got the two attack phases to work pretty well. Yeah, so we got the hammer start, calls in frogs, switches to range. All that works. Calls in more reinforcements. I didn't do this part. Should they run away when you kill the boss? Probably. Hey, probably. So we'll leave that in. And then we didn't do this yet. So at 25% increments, so each of these, you should be able to select a different character. Obviously, the first time we select, when he spawns, we select a character. So that's fine. But then we just need some way for the UI to come up for you to select a new character. And nobody on the bench should be healing at that point. Okay. Okay, then there's some bugs and stuff. So, but let's get the spawning stuff working and maybe the running away stuff working, right? If I can get all of that working today, I would be happy, to say the least. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, and then we can come back to some of these other small topics a bit later, I guess. Okay. Let's see, did Unity load? It loaded. This seems like a loaded game. Look at those guys. I also have a few new models that I could input, put pull in. But I'm not gonna worry about that right now. That's not so important. Let's... Wait, what did I just do? Okay, open C# project. I don't know what I just did. I clicked a button I don't understand. I've never seen it work, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's a lot of stuff happening here. Okay, so let's just go to our UI, I guess. Okay, so we effectively want to go to 2D. Okay, so we want this screen to come up. And something like it. Maybe not this exact one. Okay, so do we want to do we want to make this screen pop up? Something a little bit different. I think for now, since I don't much like working with UI, I'm just gonna make this screen pop up, okay? Yeah. So for each phase of the boss, we'll just pop this one up. Okay, cool. So let's go check in the code how all this happen. What is this? Some background analysis thing has been disabled. That's fine. Okay, so let's see. The game manager, as far as I understand, or remember, pretty much manages that, I think. Or do I have a UI? Yes, I can't remember. Here we have the UI with the buttons, at least. These buttons don't do anything, so my UI scripts are useless. That's fantastic. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, so first of all, we have a function here, show character select UI. Okay, so effectively what this thing does is first it increments the wave number, then it pops up the final wave message if it's the final wave, or it pops up the other ones, and then one wave after final wave we just set it to false. This is not amazing, but let's just leave it like that. So what we have to do then is we have to calculate the spawn ratio, set active to true, gameplay UI to false. Okay, so I think what we should do is we should actually get a new function specifically for when we are in the final wave, right? And what that would mean is that we can skip some of these steps, right? Like calculate spawn enemy spawn ratio. We don't need to do that. Okay, so let's see. We can either create a new function or we can have a bunch of if statements in this one. So let's see. So final wave is set to false. This really doesn't do much, right? It just spawns a crocodile. Final wave spawns a crocodile. That's a fantastic function right there. But anyway, okay, let's do a new function. Public void show. Wow. Show character select UI final boss, right? So yeah, something like this. Okay, and some of the things we know we want to do is we want to at least set the character select UI to true, and set the game playing UI to false, maybe. Or do we just want to stick it on top of there? You know what, let's just stick it on top of there. Okay, so we set that to true. That's okay. We don't need to calculate this. We don't want to do any of that stuff. So let's just do that. Now we can call that function. Now the only thing is, there's another function that gets called when you click on your select button. So once you've selected your character, let's see. Okay, so that doesn't seem to do anything for in here. Okay, cool. So let's go see where do these buttons lead. I think you need to activate gizmos to be able to click on buttons, right? Yeah. Okay, so this button on click. I'm in debug mode, that's why nothing makes sense. Okay, so let's see, what does it do? So, okay, so it just hides the character select UI, that's fine. It toggles unpause in the game manager. Okay, set the character active that you want to be set active. That's fine. Does stuff in the... Okay, so these two things we have to go and check out, right? So it resets the wave timer. It also logs character stats, so these two might be a problem. And it toggles unpause. So let's go to the game manager and see what toggle unpause does for us. I just want to see if there's any additional things that it does, right? Timescale 1 is paused false. Perfect. That's fine. We don't have to worry about that one. Reset waiver timer, because I can't spell. So we invoke this timer reset. Okay. Then we get the... Here we set the wave number. Yeah, that's fine. Game playing UI, we set that to active. Okay, so what if we only do this if we are not in final wave? So this might be a quick and dirty way of doing it, but basically all of this works for every wave except wave 6. So when we are on wave 6, that means we are in the final wave. So let's just think about this. No, this won't work, right? This is not going to work, because if you think about it, we still want to select the character the first time, and all this stuff should happen at least once. Okay, so that means we want a different behavior when we are... So during wave 6, we want different behavior. But not at the start of wave 6. So you can't test with final wave necessarily. This is a bit... It's a bit hard. Okay, so but we need something here for this to work a bit differently. So what we can do is somehow check if we are still in the final wave. Okay, so we want this to work exactly once. We can set up a separate boolean, I guess. Okay, let's say private bool in boss fight. Okay, then we can say something like, fine, if we are not in boss fight, we can set this. Okay. Okay, so that means somewhere along. So let's see, this is run, which tells us we are in boss fight the first time. So we could do something like if we are in final wave, in boss fight is equal to true. So let's see if this works. So we end wave 5, for instance. The show character select pops up. It increments the wave number, sets it to final wave. Great. Okay, we are now in the final wave. Okay, that's cool. And we select our character. Then, after character select, in boss fight is set to true. So then every single other time this stuff pops up, our UI, character select UI, pops up. It's going to be like, no, wait, we can't change any of this because we are already in the boss fight. Okay, that makes sense. So, but at some point in boss fight should be set to false again. And I guess that could just happen here. In boss fight equals false. Now, this might have been a bit dumb. Is it possible that I could have done this a little bit differently? Okay, yeah, in the past, I think what I did is in the reset timer, I did some of this stuff, which is not a problem, but that means your character select UI doesn't show the correct naming and stuff like that, right? Okay. So we'll do it like that for now. Interesting. Okay, so this is the first step. Let's see. The next function, which I can't remember now, that gets run is log character stats. Okay, let's go see if that thing does something weird. So that's our progression manager. In this case, I don't think I opened that one recently. No. So, log character stats. Let's see. This is a thing and a half. Okay, log character stat at start of wave. I think that's the one. Okay, so we basically set the character level, damage, attack speed, movement speed, and max health. That's okay. Do that at start. So that's not a problem. Okay, so that is this one, I presume. Okay, so we can leave that one. Reset wave timer. Wait, didn't we just do that one? I think we did just do that one. Reset waiver timer. Okay. So this, yeah. Okay, so that should work. So now clicking that button doesn't break anything weird. Okay, cool. The next thing we should think about. Just check if all this is work. It's okay. Okay, this set selected character in the player manager. So let's see what that does. Okay, set selected character. Okay, that's just this, and then we do apply stats. Okay, and basically what we do is we say, okay, if we have the knight, we set the movement, we set the damage, we update the attack speed, that's right. Okay, then we reset the health of the other characters. Okay, so that should not happen. So we should check if we are in the boss fight before we do that. So we should do that exactly once. They should only have one power up and then not again. Okay, so let's see. This is a singleton instance. Right, so I should be able to just access this directly, but the final wave and in-boss fight are private. So let's see. Okay, so we should be able to do this when we are not in boss fight. As soon as we are in boss fight, this should not happen, right? So in boss fight, we can make this public. Let's see, there's a better way I know of doing this. Let's see this thing. Yeah, we can use a property instead. Okay. Okay, let's just put the property down here. Okay. Okay, so the in-boss fight we should be able to get and set. Okay. This is... I like this way, because then I can see where the references are. Because at the time I did this, I didn't know what is changing my booleans anymore, because there's multiple scripts for this thing, and yeah, it was kind of a mess. Okay, but now we should be able to, in the player manager, check if we are... So if we are... If game manager dot instance... did we instance this already in the player? Maybe we did. I mean, I can't remember. Nope, we did not. Dot in boss fight. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so if we are in the boss fight, this should not happen. Right, so we should say if we are not in boss fight, you can do this. If we are in the boss fight, don't do this. Okay, so we basically need this over there. And here. And here, I believe. There we go. Okay, so now we only set the health if we are not in the boss fight. So let's see, when are these stats applied? So they'll be applied as soon as we click the button to select a character, right? So we select a character, it comes here. As soon as we've clicked that button, what else happens? So let's go see. I think our game manager gets the reset wave timer, right? And it sets the in-boss fight to true. So we just need to make sure that it is done before that, I guess. So we shouldn't do the reset wave timer before we've reset the values of their health. That seems like a buggy way of doing this, but anyway. Yeah, so reset wave timer is at the end there. It is at the end there. And it is at the end there. Okay, so our character select is done before this, hopefully. Okay, and this reset wave timer function won't run now, since we are in the final boss round. Okay. So the next thing we need to check. So our health is fine. Okay, all this just needs to actually happen. Right, so during the boss fight, these things need to be invoked somehow. So I think that'll happen with the crocodile boss, right? So if we go to the crocodile boss manager, we can see here that he has these phases that he goes through, right? And each time he hits one of these phases, we should call a function to effectively allow us to change our character, right? So I think this should just be done in game manager, right? So we should be able to do game manager dot instance dot call some function in the game manager. Let's see which function are we going to make this. Show character select UI final boss. I think we could use that one, yeah. So let's do dot show character select UI final boss. Okay, so we do it at 25%. We do it at 50, and then finally here. Okay. We should also do something on death of this guy, so when he dies, there should be additional things happening here, so the enemies run away and stuff like that. For now, though, I'm not going to worry about that immediately. Okay, so now we just have to make sure that this showing this UI does everything it needs to do. Okay, so let's see. So the first thing it needs to do is it needs to pop up the UI. That's fine. Then it needs to toggle pause. Oh, geez. Okay, so we go here and we do a toggle pause. So we've paused and we have the UI to select a character. As soon as we select a character, we should come to, let's see. Reset wave timer. But we don't want that thing to... I wonder what's listening to this. Okay, we don't want to set the new wave number. This should still be active. What is listening to this? On wave timer reset dot invoke. It might be like my totems and stuff like that. Okay, but we are not resetting the wave timer. Yeah, I think it's the enemy buildings that get reset or something like that. Yeah, but we don't want to do that necessarily. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. Let's make the final wave wave 2. And the next wave wave 3, so it's easy to change. It's quick to get there. And then we should make the crocodile ways weaker, I think. Because otherwise I'm just going to die. Scriptable objects. For the crocodile boss, you need like... I know, that's experience, not that one. This one. Health. Like 300 health should be fine. I believe. Okay, let's see now if we've managed to do this correctly. Okay, so it's temperate. That's great. Let's go kill everybody with our ranger. Ooh, yeah, no. Some terrible attack speed. Got him. Okay, this is our... Yes, like it. Okay, next totem destroyed. Now we need to run over to the final one. Get that one all destroyed. Oh, my word. Got him. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of the rest of the froggies. The froggies, the froggos. But there's more left. Oh. Bugged frogs. Yeah, I really should get on there. Fixing this bug. Any more frogs out there? Yep. What? There's still more? Oh, there's another one. Got it. Okay, it's the final boss. We gained some levels, so let's at least spend our points. Why not give him attack speed, right? Okay, so let's see. The final boss, hammer mode. I need to be careful. He's still very strong. I don't want to just die. So let's just take the wizard. Okay, so here he comes. So let's see. At 20... Okay, I forgot to get rid of the hat. Okay. So this works. It looks terrible, but it works. So we get to select a new character since he is now. So he spawned reinforcements. They're a bunch of frogs. The health wasn't updated for the ranger, unfortunately. The owl... Oh, maybe it's just the UI that wasn't updated. Okay, it's possible it's just the UI. Let's... Okay, so we did gain health again. Okay, we're at 150. The owl was at 300, so it's possible it's just a UI glitch. So let's see as soon as he goes below. Yeah, it's a UI problem. So let's select the chicken. So we're at 150 on this one, 300 on the owl. So let's get the chicken instead. So he takes out his crossbow, and we're like, that's perfect. We get in his face. Where's the chicken? We don't care about all the damage everybody is doing. Okay, so we get another one. So let's just check on the wizard, for instance. Yeah, so we only have the amount of health that we should have. That's perfect. And we got him. Okay, so that was a terrible fight, but... My greatness. Okay, so currently, I think before the level can continue, we need to... Okay, so the scriptable objects work fine. So everything pretty much that's tracking what the actual health values, etc. are, that's fine. That's not a problem. I don't know what the hell this is. The camera freaked out at the end there. Okay, so that all works fine. We're not updating the UI text though. So let's just check what else we need to run then. So normally on wave timer, let's see. Get component. Okay, we have the timer there. Where do we normally show character select UI? And we don't do anything funny there. We just set it to true. Okay, update all stats UI. So there's 3 references there. And the enemy counter. Oh, this is when the wave ends. We update that. Okay, we can do these 2 things. In the game manager. So when we show final character select with final boss, we can do that as well. Yeah, so we can just calculate the skill points and then update all the stats in the UI. So let's just hope I didn't do anything dumb. Let's try that again quickly. Okay, smells like swamp. That's fine. Let's get the owl going. Yeah, for these beginning levels, it really doesn't matter who you choose. I think everybody is good enough. Okay, we got that one. Let's go get the final totem. They're getting spicy. Yeah, hopefully you are the last frog. Okay, final boss incoming. Okay, so let's just make this guy... Let's just give him attack speed, why not, right? Okay, Ranger. Attack speed. And let's do movement speed on the chicken. Okay, so the final round. I should be able to chunk him really quickly. So this health should reset to full. Okay, so let's take the chicken. And let's get the first phase of this finished. Okay, so he does a lot of damage. Chicken is maybe not. Okay, so the health was reset. So he called a bunch of frog friends. So 375 on the chicken. Okay, we get the ranger. Because we don't want to deal with this. Okay, we're still on 375 with the chicken. That's good, the ranger didn't take any damage, so we could be... just select the ranger again. Yeah, but he takes out his crossbow. And this thing can get a bit dicey, right? And there should be a bunch of small lizards incoming. Yep. Okay, we got him. So, okay, we actually got some levels because we killed a bunch of the small guys. Okay, that's cool. So we could actually spend those. That should work. And let's select the wizard for the last phase. You know, that was not a good idea. But it's what I've done. Okay, we kill him. Now, what I want is for this wave to just end there. You shouldn't have to go and find all the totems. Whoa. Okay, but I can use this totem as a... just like that. How many of these spawn? Okay, fortunately the wizard is pretty good at clearing out all these frogs. Yeah, so we could either have you clear out the remainder. Look at these levels. I gained 26 levels. Okay, what I want to see is whether or not we can continue the game. I'm sure there are still some other things that don't work. But I'm just interested in checking. So the character select stuff should just work again, right? So all the character select stuff, updating your stats, etc. I want those to just work. I think the Crocodile boss UI is just going to stick around for a while. If I'm not mistaken. But let's just check. Okay, we did it now. So, everybody is a bit beaten up after that, unfortunately. Now, notice that the wizard has 60 skill points to spend. Right, so we can just straight up spend all those skill points. So give him a movement speed. So this is not going to happen in real life because obviously the wizard won't get that much experience. The ranger and the knight. Let's just give him damage. Okay, so who do we choose in this situation? So it's the bunch of lizard. The knight is still relatively healthy. So let's just take the knight for a spin. Yeah, so the spawning restarts like normal. We can destroy those again. The UI didn't go away. I also think the crocodile boss is still lying on his face somewhere. If I'm not mistaken. Where did we kill him? I wanna see. Yeah, so chicken wasn't a bad idea here. Everybody's already at quite a high level for wave 3, right? Is the crocodile boss still here? Yeah, he is. Lying on his face. Wait. Take me to him. Where is this? Where can I find this? Oh, okay. It's up there. Is he really this far away? Okay, that's the last enemy. If I kill him, everything should work. Okay, there he is. Okay, just get rid of you. So let's see. Everybody's health back to normal. Smells like swamp, so we're expecting a lot of frogs. Are you ready for those frogs? Look how quick this guy is. Yes, like it. Like you can't hit him for nothing. Now, once you get this strong with the wizard, or any character for that matter, you don't gain a lot of experience anymore. But since the level difference is so high, all your buddies are getting a ton of experience. So you'll see me just running around clearing frogs, not taking any damage because I'm indestructible. I am a wizard god. You want some of this? Don't think you understand what you're saying. Look, I can literally, while I'm shooting, kite those small lizards. Feels good. I'm the fastest chicken in the land. Still haven't taken any damage. Because movement speed is overpowered. Okay, yeah, you see they got 3 levels each. So they're leveling up way quicker now. Yeah, but it seems like everything's working fine. Okay, very good. So let's stop it there. Okay, so since it works, I think we can take the crocodile boss enemy. Increase his health to 2000 again. Right, because that was the one problem. But yeah, nothing else was broken. And we just changed the level on which he occurs. So wave 6 currently feels pretty good. And wave 7 is the reset. Now, I should maybe do this a little bit better. But for now, everything works like I would like it to work. The other thing I might want to do is maybe just hide the gameplay UI. Potentially, yeah, that looks terrible. And the crocodile boss. Okay, so the whole character select during the fight works. Let's just keep this 2 and 3 because I can see I'm gonna have to test some more stuff. Yeah, because I just remembered the other problem. The other problem was he doesn't die. Oh, he doesn't despawn, right? His UI stays up. He doesn't despawn. You know, it's annoying. So let's just make his health 300 again. Just to make it possible to kill him. Okay, so when he dies, so in that death function, we need to do a couple of things as well. So I believe, if we take a look at the boss enemy, right, our manager has a reference to the UI as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so if we go to the manager, when he spawns, so on start, let's see, he sets his stats. Okay. That's fine. All his attacks work. And then when he draws his hammer, we do spawn gameplay UI dot instance. Okay. Okay, so in the gameplay UI, so let's go to spawn gameplay UI. Okay, so basically what we want here is a public void hide CVE or despawn or destroy CVE health bar UI. Right, so let's see. Okay, so maybe we make a class here, so or private game object crocodile boss enemy UI. Right, just do something like that, and then do something like this, and we actually don't do that. Okay, yeah, so now it remembers the reference. Okay, so when we run the spawn function, we get the prefab, we get the crocodile boss, we instantiate the prefab, and we have the script instance that we connect to it. So we could destroy it from here, or we could have it destroy itself, actually, now that I think about it, because it knows the crocodile boss. That means we should listen to a... Yeah, so... then the prefab should destroy itself. That's not impossible. So crocodile boss enemy. Okay, yeah, so we have a CBE manager, and then we connect. So that's the script that we write, right? Connect CBE. Yeah. So we connected, so the manager becomes that thing. The stats on enemy stat change. We listen to that. And health bar dot update. So we also actually have the stats UI. Okay, so we have this as well. Okay, so let's think about this. We can have it check itself whether or not the boss is dead and then destroy itself, right? Or we could have the boss send a... So we could connect it like this to an event that basically tells it to destroy itself. Maybe an event's not a bad idea, because that could be used... Yeah, because I still want all the enemies to run away, potentially, and the totems to destroy themselves. So maybe it's a good idea to have an event be used for that specifically. So the state machine already has an event, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it has the on state change, on phase change, and on state change that it invokes. Right, so you still have to check, you know, that it invoke death specifically, which is kind of unnecessary, I think. Another way. Okay, we also have these. Okay, we ran the death function now. That's fine. I think let's set up an event for on death for the crocodile boss enemy. And let's work with that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we can do a public... It is a public, right? Public event. Event. Event handler. and then just call it on crocodile boss enemy death. Okay, and then we do on death, we invoke it. Where's this? So enemy counter dot instance. Okay, yes, that's fine. That's fine. And we also do on not invoke this with new or we could just do event args.empty, right? Okay, so we don't actually care anything about that. We just want to invoke this. Okay, so on CBE death. So okay. So what we can do now is our UI can listen to it. So we actually don't want this thing to destroy anything. It just spawns it. And then once it's spawned, it can handle killing, destroying itself, basically. So we can do manage. So we can do manager dot on death. Okay, just do that. So on this, when this happens, we do game object dot destroy game object, right? So we just get rid of this entirely. The whole health thing disappears. Okay. So all of the UI connected to the manager goes away. Right, and I think that is the right way of doing it. So now, just destroying things like this is maybe not a great idea, but, for me, it is a great idea because that's the only idea I have. Okay, so now at least we get rid of that. And we should also destroy the crocodile himself, right? So, but that one, we should have a timer for, I think. Yeah. So for the crocodile himself, we should have like something like if dead. Okay, so we just make a bool. Private bool is dead. That's maybe better. Is dead. Okay, if he is dead, then we can have private float despawn timer. Okay, and then we can basically have despawn timer. Let's plus equals, and then if despawn timer is greater than, let's make it 2if. Then we say destroy game object. Okay, so we add up, right? We go up. So if is dead, and on death, where's my death function? We say is dead equals true. Okay, so that he can despawn. Okay, so that does a lot of the stuff. So this specifically we need to figure out now. So we want all the enemies to run away, or we need to trigger some kind of a or we just need to trigger the end game state, right? It would be better if we just make everything die, because then I don't have to change anything else, right? Okay, so yeah, so the crocodile boss enemy. So I'm thinking to connect the crocodile boss enemy to all the spawned enemies is a little bit complicated, I believe. Right, what might be easier is if we just connect it to the game manager, for instance. Right, the game manager already knows about it, for instance. And then or we just run a function in the game manager that tells everything to run away. Yeah. So we do something like public void final wave ended function, for instance, and this thing should make everything run away. So I could do this with a trigger or yeah, so the crocodile boss enemy can run that function from wherever he is, and then that could send off a event which all of the enemies that are spawned can be subscribed to. Right, so we could actually just do something like public event, and then we just make it on final wave ended. Okay, and we just invoke the on final wave ended here. On final wave ended, invoke this with event args.empty. Okay, so we just do that, and now basically we just have to do we just have to connect everything to this. So I think that should be straightforward, because what we can do, okay, so let's first of all the crocodile boss enemy. So when you die, you can do game manager dot instance dot on final wave ended. Okay. No. Final wave ended. You just run the function which triggers the event, and everything can be connected to the game manager event quite simply. So let's see. So if we go to our ranged bomber enemy, for instance. So the manager doesn't do anything currently, which is kind of a problem. So the state machine checks whether or not it's dead. Okay, so at start. Yeah, so at start we can easily do game manager dot instance dot on final wave ended. Okay. Okay. Let's call it game manager on final wave ended. Okay, so what do we do here? We set health to -1. Right, so health equal to -1, which should very straightforwardly then trigger an update death, and that means he's dead, right? So we trigger the death function over here. So if we are not dead, we make ourselves dead. And RB attack enabled false, take damage false, we do all the good stuff. So that was quite straightforward for that guy. Let's go look at the other enemy. Unfortunately, he's just riding on a straightforward enemy state machine, which is bad, but you know, this is what we have. So again, it's the same thing, right? So we just do game manager dot instance dot on final wave ended plus equals tab, and we just do game manager, okay, on final wave ended. So we just do health equals -1. And then on the next update he should realize, oh look, I'm dead, right? Okay, so this can happen with anyone that has when the final wave ends, but that only happens when the crocodile dies. Okay, and then finally the totems. So the totems should all get destroyed at this point as well. So let's see. Totem pointer, this is a camp, reset totem pieces, reset totem. Interesting. Enemy camp manager. Enemy, oh, that's the counter. Enemy building take damage. Runs the respawn. Ah, this became the manager function, right? Yes, it did. Okay, we just have this take damage. Let's see, when do we know whether or not the thing is destroyed? So it's got health equals to 50. If can take damage, health. This is only happening on building hit. Okay, this one's going to be a little more shitty, but it's fine. Game manager dot instance dot on final wave ended. Okay, so actually all we do is we just apply building hit. So we run that function. And we just send in like 100 damage. Right, so if you send in 100 damage, it'll take the damage. Play the sound, I guess. Which could be bad, now that I think about it. And it plays this sound when it's destroyed. That's not ideal, right? But that, we can fix that later. Okay, but for now, it should destroy and the wave should end. Right, so when you destroy the crocodile now, the wave ends immediately. I believe. Right, so we should get rid of the UI. The crocodile himself should despawn, all the enemies die, and the totems are destroyed immediately. Right, it's not great. You might want them to run away instead, but you know, that seems difficult, so let's do it this way. Let's play. So I think everything should just work. Yeah, so let's give it a go. Let's give it a good old go. Okay, get rid of this thing. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. You too. Okay, there we go. Last totem destroyed. Let's just finish up all these frogs and lizards. Good. Final boss. Boss wave incoming. Okay, let's give the chicken a lot of damage. Do we want to just take the chicken out immediately? I don't know, maybe. He's better when he's in ranged mode. So let's just take the ranger. Okay, so everything spawns the way it should. He's coming from the middle of the map or somewhere. I should really go fix that crossbow thing. Don't know why he did that. Okay, so that's 25% of his health gone, which means we could again select a new character. Let's get the wizard. That's immediately a bad idea. Okay, so our UI didn't come back. That's unfortunate. So I hit it because it looked weird, but now it doesn't come back, which is a problem. Okay, so now he's going to go into range mode. Let's just get the chicken out. Okay, let's just continue with the chicken. I have no idea how much health anything has, but I should be able to kill him. Okay, so the totems were destroyed, but everything else died as well. So that means we've beaten the final wave and gotten a massive amount of experience from killing the boss, so we can totally juice ourselves up. Let's give this guy like 1000 HP. Like that. Let's give the ranger a bunch of damage and stuff. Let's give this guy all the attack speed. I don't think he really scales that well with attack speed. Yeah, look, they all died when we destroyed the boss. Okay, but the boss also went away. His UI is not there. And this should now just feel like a normal wave. But we are overpowered. Because we got a lot of experience. So on wave 3 you shouldn't be having, you know, a level 8 character. But this seems promising. It's already a lot of spawns, I must say. So wave 3 can get a bit rough. Okay. So the UI didn't come back when we selected our character. So it's this select button. So let's see. Maybe it's on. Okay, select toggles on pause. So it might be with the reset wave timer, I believe. That script is normally run. Right, game manager. Let's see. Game manager, where are you? I need to close some of these scripts again. Okay, so normally on reset wave timer, let's just see. Game playing UI set active is true. Okie dokie. Could we just have that happen on toggle unpause? Potentially. So we're not paused. We have the gameplay UI running. Right, that seems fine. I don't think that's bad. I say. Okay, the other thing, maybe we don't want the totems to explode in our ears. So let's see, building take damage. Okay, so this is a bit much, right? If we take damage, we should reduce our health. That's fine. We should do like less than equal to 0. Okay, so the first thing is, so what I'm basically doing is I'm just running take damage, getting 100 health taken off, right? We could do a death function instead. Private void, you know, destroy totem function. Right, and we can make all of this stuff happen right here, and then this is just basically run the destroy. Totem function, right? That seems okay. So basically now I can run the destroy totem function from here instead of applying a hit, for instance. Okay, so that basically destroys, disables the spawn point, makes the building destroyed true, does a bunch of sound stuff, for the destroy sound. So what we can do is we can actually move this over here, so that the destroy sound is only played when it's actually doing getting a hit applied, right? Destroy the mesh stuff. Yeah, actually that's pretty much the main thing. So then I just run the destroy totem function instead over here. So destroy totem. Let's just see if nothing else breaks. So building is destroyed is true. So then later we can run the respawn. Right, there's nothing else checking health necessarily. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, so now we destroy it, so we don't get an explosion sound in our heads when we destroy it. Okay, I like that. What else broke? Okay. I can't remember what else was breaking at this point, but that was one of them. And the UI. So let's test again, I guess. Alright. See what else we can uncover here. Okay, smells like swamp. Goody. Let's go with the wizard. Our slow little wizard. Super powerful, but slow. I should make him even more powerful, to be honest. Okay, it destroys it. And I hear the sound, that's good. So everything still works the way it should. Okay, we got it. Let's go get the last totem. Run! There's a lizard. Destroy the lizard. Okay, we'll just ignore this lizard for now. Take that. Okay. Dead frogs everywhere. Okay, we have bugged frogs somewhere. There we go. Are you telling me there's another bugged frog? Oh, there we go. There he is. Okay, we got it. Final boss wave incoming. Let's do this. So we will select the ranger, I guess. Let's make her shoot fast. Let's just increase the damage for the wizard for now. No. And the knight. Let's give him more damage as well. Okay, so we'll take on the boss with the ranger. Okay, so all my UI seems to be working fine. Here he comes. I still didn't change the crossbow thing, but that's okay. I got hit. That's bad. Okay. Quarter health. We get to choose a new character. So let's just take the wizards because he packs a punch and we're expecting a lot of frogs. The wizard's also not bad because he has more health. Yeah, it seems like things are working fine. Yeah, our UI comes back, no problem. Okay, we just need to get to this guy. Yeah, you can push him into a corner with a knight. And just kill him, basically. There, we did it, and we got 60 skill points. Okay, and all the other enemies died. That's good. And now we a super chicken. Super chicken. Holy moly, look at this guy. Okay, super chicken, let's go take out the totems. Got that one. Wow, super chicken is insane. That's it. Now these guys are also getting nice and strong. Okay, now you can continue playing the game obviously as normal. But yeah, we are way too strong right now, and potentially the game's not balanced for this, right? So it's not like this feels satisfying or anything. You're just way too powerful at this point. But I mean, I can make it feel satisfying, obviously. But that'll come at a later date, I believe. Okay, so let's stop there. Let's go to our to-do list quickly and see. Okay, so he dies. Enemies don't run away; they die. Also, it's easier, right? Okay, so that happens, and then we get new character, and the character doesn't heal. Okay, spawn enemies based on health. That means that's done, and I'm kind of happy with this. Okay, this is a question mark. I don't think that's necessary. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, I wanted there to be something like a change in the level, right? But I think this is pretty good, right? I'm in a good place. Things work. Things look like things. This is a game. Okay, so let's think about what I should be doing next. That's absolutely required. So UI is definitely required. That's unfortunately a thing that I need to do. But most of the vision of what the game should be, it is currently. So okay, the only other thing I think I want to do maybe is on the final boss level, we should have UI saying, you know, when we beat it, the UI shouldn't just be like, okay, cool, you know, like nothing happened, you can just continue the game. What we should do maybe is something like a game over screen, right? Or yeah, well, a game over screen is not a bad idea in any case, right? A game over screen, and then we could restart the game, for instance. Yeah, so that might be a good thing to have, regardless. Yeah, so game over when you die. That's maybe one of them, and game over when actually, that's a good point. So game over when you die, and also game over when you win the game. Now, when you die, game over screen currently. Okay, well, currently when you die, you're dead, and that's kind of the end. Nothing really happens. That's clever. So that could be the first thing I need to change. Okay, let's look at that. So what I want to do, when one of your characters die, it's not game over. The only thing that happens, or should happen, is you should be able to select a new character to continue that level. Right, so let's see how we currently handle your player's death, right? So, yeah, no. Maybe I should close. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close all these tabs. Close all tabs. Okay, and then we're going to restart from scratch. Let's get the player manager, player state machine, and player manager. I think those are the two important ones. Okay, so player manager is this guy over here. Did we have something that looked like die? Not really, no. So the manager doesn't care. I think it's a state machine. So there's a dead state that gets set. So if state is not equal to dead, then we can get game inputs and stuff like that. So that's one way. Okay, so this is basically the main problem here. Okay, so all of this works fine until we die. So as soon as we die, then the game input doesn't work. Nothing, all of this stuff stops working. Okay. So what I'm thinking is then, as soon as we die, and when do we set the state to death? So that would be somewhere here. State, targeting, set state, set state, set state. Player state machine.instance.set state. Why is this only happening in the Knight character manager? Surely I do this in the others as well. Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah, so I did start to break these apart. So let's open the Knight character manager, the Ranger character manager, and the Wizard character manager. And let's see what they do. Okay. So basically they keep track of health, it seems. So they take damage for a start. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So if they take damage, we reduce health. Okay. And then we set the state to dead. Okay, that's fine. So we need to inject some functionality here. Something like when this happens, we don't actually we don't have to set the state to dead necessarily. We just have to set the character, the wizard character needs to be set to dead. Right? I think so. So okay, so let's see, how do we do this? So if we want to track the state of a specific character, I think we should do that in the scriptable object. Okay, so we take the scriptable object, we have a is dead state, so characters die, the player doesn't die necessarily. The player can die if all three characters are dead, yes, but not when one dies. So we have to change this functionality. Okay, so let's open the scriptable object for character stats. Okay, so we have a bunch of things here. Our character level, experience needed, etc, etc, etc. Okay. So the last thing I think we just need to do here is I guess a public boolean is dead. Okay, and then when we reset character stats, is dead is equal to false. Let's just make sure that that is the case. Okay, it should be false, but we make sure it's false. Okay, so a couple of things now. Since we did this, if we actually did this properly, we could now actually, in the scriptable object itself, make sure things can't happen to our characters, like they can't gain levels or experience or anything like that when is dead is true. So for instance, we can do character health, or specifically maybe this one. We can return the character level progress, but to set it, we need to know if we are not is dead, right? So if the character is not dead, that's not a problem. We can do all this stuff. If you are dead, sorry, we're not going to do anything about this. You don't gain experience. Yeah, so that's the first thing I think we could do. We could also say you don't gain health. Maybe. Okay, but that's fine. So we have a is dead property now, or a variable inside our scriptable object, which means all of these can, instead of just killing off the player, do a wizard stats, for instance. Wizard stats dot is dead equals true. Alright, so we'll do it this way. And this should be ranger stats. And then this should be I already see knight stats dot is dead true. So actually what we should also do for each of these, if else if, okay, so if we have selected the character, the wizard, and if our health is greater than 0, we can subtract health. Else if place get state not dead, no. So else if wizard stats dot is dead. So if we are not dead, we can make ourselves dead. And this one we do the same thing, but with the ranger stats. So not ranger stats dot is dead. And this final one, not knight stats dot is dead. Okay, so now we don't actually try and check. We don't actually kill the player anymore. We only kill the characters, which is way better, right? That is exactly what I wanted from the start. I just didn't code it that way because, you know, I didn't know how. Go figure. Okay, now let's say you are selecting a character. So we select a character. This should only work if the character is not dead. Right? That makes sense. So let's think about this. We should actually not have the button work if the character is dead. That could be even better. So we disable the button if the character died. So let's go to our UI and see how we want to do that. So character select menu, it doesn't do anything. Character select button doesn't do anything. This is fantastic. Okay, so let's actually go to our inspect our Unity then, and let's go look at the UI from here, because apparently the code itself is pointless. Where the hell is my canvas item? There we go. Canvas. Let's go to 2D. Let's get our canvas nice in view. So this is the button that we want to disable. So it comes up and you can do stuff to it. I think interactable is what I should switch off, right? Yeah. So we just toggle interactable. Okay, Chicken Night UI, that doesn't have a component. This is that code that doesn't do anything? Yes. Okay, which buttons are these? Oh, that is that button. Okay. So we can set them inactive from this character select menu script. Okay, so the first thing I think we should do is we should just add, select owl, the owl wizard button. Okay, so this doesn't do anything, but we should maybe have a so the game manager already has. So what we can do is we can do something like game manager dot. And I'm thinking. The night. Yeah, you know what? Dot instance. Dot night. No. This is the player manager. Sorry. Player manager. Okay, let's just try this again. Player manager dot instance dot night stats dot, and we can do is dead, for instance, right? So you can find that. But what I'm thinking is, what if we just have character stats scriptable object have another event that it can invoke when something dies, right? So what that means is, yeah, we can effectively have a new event on stat change. Could we have the on stat change event evoke when they die? No, I think we'll just do a public event event handler, and we'll just send it on character death. Okay, so on character death, that is our new event. And then I want to do something like this for death. Maybe do an M underscore is dead, and then this is just is dead again, right? Yeah, and then when we get okay, so I'm gonna use this instead. Okay, so when we get that, we return this M is dead, and we set that to whatever the value is, and then here we do an on character death invoke. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so if somebody wants to know if we are dead, we can just tell them. Yeah, and then whenever we set is dead to true, for instance. So let's just do that to make it false. Okay. Yeah. So now we also know who's referencing this, which is way better. Okay. So basically now we can say, cool, is dead, blah blah blah. That's fine. Just want to make sure. Then we set it to something. Now, if we set it, we invoke on character death from the scriptable object itself, which I'm absolutely in love with. So what we can do now, we can say on character death, and we can do that basically on character death. So when the knight dies, we basically want to do something like select chicken button dot interactable is equal to false. Right, and then we do the same thing, player manager dot instance dot ranger stats dot on character death. No. Plus equals ranger stats on character death. That's fine. And then we do select Robin Ranger button dot interactable false. And finally we need the dot wizard stats dot on character death plus equal, there we go, and this one would make that button select our wizard button dot interactable false, right? So we basically just switch off the buttons. Hello, Garbahe. Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. What is that? Mandarin? Don't even recognize it. But hello, regardless. Okay. So we set all the stats to false. That's good. Let's see what's next. I still need to plug in this button, right? Yeah. The wizard select button is not. Which one is the select button? What? It's this button. That one. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we just click and drag this guy over here. Yes, you say. Yes, as in I was able to pronounce your name. How are you doing? Okay, cool. So now the wizard button shouldn't be interactable if the wizard has died. That's great. But the only problem we still have, I would say... it's probably not the only problem. The other problem we have is when somebody dies, we should actually pull up this screen so we can select a new character. Right, I think we have a lot of that functionality built in already, somewhat, somehow. If we go look at how the game manager currently works with this, let's see. Okay, so yeah, show character select UI, but we can use this one instead. So if we use the final boss version, we can just also have this work when a character dies. So show character select UI final boss. So this makes the UI active, takes away the gameplay UI, toggles pause, and it calculates all the skill points and updates all the stats, right? And then we can select the new character. Okay, so we just need a way to, because when you select a new character, it will reset the wave timer. Oh wait, but it'll reset the wave timer, but not necessarily update the wave number. So we could actually just check whether or not we've progressed to a new wave. So we could do something like private, private bool, new wave, and we can say something like this. If we increased our wave number, right? So we went through the character select UI, then new wave is equal to true, right? So it is a new wave because we've incremented the wave number. And if we go through the character select UI final boss, we make sure that new wave, let's actually do it at the top. New wave is equal to false, right? So we didn't actually select a new wave. Okay, and then basically what this means is we can do, when we reset the wave timer, when we run this function, we should check if we are not currently in the boss fight. And actually, now we could do this instead. If it's a new wave, right? If it's a new wave, we get to reset the time. If it's not a new wave, we don't reset the time. Okay. Because this is run when we select a character. Okay. So that makes sense to me. We can leave the rest like that for now. And let's rename this. Show character select UI. And we can call this no new wave. Right, so we change that to shows character select UI, no new wave. which basically means is this is a way of popping up the UI select, but we haven't actually restarted the wave, for instance. Yeah, we don't increment the wave, we don't calculate spawn ratios, and etc, etc. Okay, so and this now can be basically made available when a character dies. So what we can do, since we have all the nice let's see, character select menu, we can actually copy these to Game Manager. Okay, let's just paste them at the bottom here. Okay, so we do that, and then we go to character select UI, we do this. Yeah. So at the start, we just connect all of these. Okay, then actually what we do, once somebody dies on character death, oh, actually we could just make one function, yeah, right? Yeah, we can just connect all of them to on character death, for instance. Yeah, so any one of the characters die, we go to the bottom here, and we just have an on character death, and then when a character dies, we basically call this function specifically with a no new wave added, so that we don't, do something funny. So show character select UI, no new wave. Okay, that should work. I believe that should work. Okay, so whenever we get the event triggered, so something died, we get the UI and we get to select a new character, and nothing else should have changed, I say. Okay, let's test. Okay, who do we want to die first? Let's make the ranger die. She dies easily. Oh, actually, yeah, let's try. Let's destroy some of these totems. Okay, she's not gonna die that easily. Yeah, this is gonna be annoying. She still has 200 HP, right? So, but I'm gonna destroy 2 totems, and I don't want them to respawn, right? And I don't actually know if they will respawn. Didn't check that functionality. Or maybe I want them to respawn. I actually don't know what I want. Okay, yes, it's a bit loud. Okay, come quickly. Okay, so I died. I cannot select the ranger. Current health, -2. Very good. So, but I can select the owl, for instance, and we continue on. Yeah, actually nothing updated. We still have only one totem to destroy. That's good. So we can still continue on, go destroy this totem. And let's say for some dumb reason, I also lose the wizard. So I'm like, oh no! I've destroyed all the totems, but I can't kill the frogs. Oh. Okay, so the wizard died. I can't select him either. That's unfortunate. Oh, you see what did happen is the Robin got full health again. That's not good. Okay, so we do need to change that. Okay, Chicken Knight. You're up, buddy. Okay, now he can go and clear everybody out. Okay, so there's still some functionality that doesn't really work the way I intended to do. Okay, so you can see now all of these guys are now full HP somehow. That's not correct. So I don't want that to happen. So what I want to happen is they should... Maybe they should regain HP when they sit out. But they shouldn't regain XP. They shouldn't become alive until this wave has ended. Okay, so let's see. GUI error stuff again. Okay, I don't know what that means. Go away, GUI. Okay, so let's think about this. So this could have just been a UI bug, right? So we could actually check, I think, in the scriptable object. So ranger stats. Max health 200. Character. What's the current health? Come on, why can't I see this? Am I blind? Where's the current health of the character? Start health. Okay, so it's none of these. Character health at start. Damage. Max health. Is there not something... Yeah, it should just be their character health. It's just character health. Why can't I see this? What? Night stats. Character health. That's so weird. So all these things, I can't actually see them. Character level progress is gone and character health is also gone. Interesting. So do we just make it serialized field, I guess? Yeah. So let's see now if I can see the character health. Scriptable objects. Ranger. Okay, character. Health, 0. And level progress, 0. Okay. So now that works. Okay, so it didn't actually update. Basically, all I wanted to see was whether or not it updated if it was a UI bug or if it was a bug there. So it's a UI bug, which is good. So now we can go check where do we actually change our UI. So update, let's see, night stats UI, ranger stats UI. So the stats UI is only updated when let's see, who calls this? The game manager calls this over there. Oh, interesting. So show select character UI, no new wave. It does update all stats UI. And that is the one I'm calling when somebody dies, right? No new wave. Yep. Maybe I need to do this off before I toggle or after I toggle pause. I don't actually know. That's interesting. Oh, okay, now wait, this works. So we do die. The problem is when we select a new character. Yeah, so when we go away, effectively, so we show character select UI. So we set that active, but we don't necessarily. No. Yeah, so when the second guy died, why did it change? I think it's got something to do with the... Oh, it's the selection thing. Yes, it's in Player Manager, actually. Yeah. So it's in applied stats, yeah. So we have in a boss fight. So we apply the stats. Yes, okay, that's true. So we should actually check whether or not we are dead. So the character health shouldn't update if we are still dead, basically. So that we could actually do in the scriptable object itself by just doing something like this. So the level progress doesn't work and character health shouldn't work either, right? So we can't update character health if we are dead. So the first thing we need to do is we need to clear the wave and then potentially revive the characters. Yes. So let's see. So in Player Manager, we apply the stats and that's fine. So if we are not in health in a boss fight, we reset this. Or, so in a boss fight, this doesn't make sense anymore. So we should say new wave or something like that, right? Yeah, so in boss fight's not the one we want. So game manager in boss fight is bad, right? So what we actually want is this new wave to work that like the boss fight does. Yeah, so if we do the new wave one now instead, right, we can say we don't care about the boss fight. We want to see if we are in a new wave, actually. Yeah. So then we can just do in Player Manager instead here, as we can do new wave. So if it's a new wave, so only if it's a new wave, actually, do we update the stats, the health stats. Okay, so we need to think about this. So it's going to try that, but they're going to be dead, so it won't work. So we can't just check for a new wave, or we can, but that means... Yes, okay, so we can just check for a new wave. What basically means is we need to revive them first. right? So, you know what we can do? If we want them to sit out for 2 waves if they die, we can do something like ranger stats dot is dead equals false, and wizard stats dot is dead equals false. Right, for instance, so we can set it back to false, which means they were revived. But we're going to start a new wave. First, it's going to try and set their health. It won't work. Then it revives them. So you have to wait like 2 waves. So we just do this, and here we need knight and wizard, and here we need knight and ranger. Yeah. So now you have to wait 2 waves for the character to revive, which is not that bad, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be annoying if somebody dies, right? Which is what we want it to be. You shouldn't just revive willy-nilly, right? So a new wave has to trigger, then you get revived, then another new wave has to trigger before your health gets revamped. Okay, cool. Now let's go to the character select menu. Okay, so basically currently we're not getting... Okay, so we just set this to false. But what I think we should do is we should check if that knight stats or wizard stats dot is dead. So basically, if you are dead, we do one thing. Okay, so if is dead is true, then we want to false, right? So we want to not wait, can't we just do this a little bit simpler? We can just set this to whatever the dot instance dot wizard stats dot is dead. Right, so if you are dead, that means you can't, so it's not, so yes. So that's basically it. Yeah, so that means we'll basically toggle these things. Okay, now this needs to be ranger stats, obviously, because it's the ranger button, and this needs to be knight stats because it's the knight button. Yeah, so we basically set the button so we can, every time our death state changes, so we go to death or alive, we get to change, or this button becomes active again. Now we'll see if this is okay. Okay. So now the button will become active, and well, it will enable and disable based on whether or not we are dead or not. Okay. And that'll reset our health will be reset and all the good stuff. I think I've done it. So let's test, right? Nothing like a good test. Doesn't really matter who I select as long as it's Somebody that dies fast. Okay, cool. Select the ranger. Could I... character stats, ranger stats. Let's see. If I do character health 50. I didn't update there. I didn't think it would update though. What's happening? Okay, so I broke something with the spawner. How exactly does that work? That's weird. It might be with the new wave stuff, where... Oh, it could be with the new wave stuff. Interesting. So this thing popped up immediately, right? So it didn't register the first one. That's interesting. So something's happening with the first button click. It doesn't register that. Very weird. Okay, so when the button clicks, it should go to reset wave timer. Maybe we start new wave as true, actually. Now that I think about it, yeah. So right on start, new wave should be true, right? It's the start. So we start with a new wave equals true, which means we can do this stuff. Which is probably the problem. Yeah, I think that is the problem, because we try to reset wave timer, but it doesn't work. And then it does this immediately, and then we retry it again. I think that's the problem. So let's see. Okay, now we select. Okay, so that didn't work. We select again. Wave number is still 0. Okay, that's interesting. So the button works, sort of. It just doesn't do the reset wave timer part. Okay, so let's just click on this button, for instance. So it should do game object set active for the ranger. So it does that. It toggles unpause. Reset wave timer, that's... That's very interesting. So this thing at start should be fine. We select a character. All the characters should be fine. But we select a character, toggle unpause. Gameplay UI should be true, so that's fine. And it should also do this. We could actually remove this one from here. So on new wave, unless show character select UI is run at the start. It is run at the start. So let's see, we come here, wave timer is equal to 0, wave number. New wave is equal to true, that's fine. calculate spawn ratio, select character UI is active. And that is false. Maybe... Let's just make sure all our UI is switched off at start. Right, that might be a good thing, because maybe it's doing something weird, I don't know. So at start... Yeah, we pause, and let's just make all our UI, so character select and game playing UI, switch it off. And then we run show character select UI. So we go over here. Wave number gets incremented, all that good stuff. We should check layer manager. Okay, something might be... Okay, this just activates and deactivates the buttons. Let's see. So sometime when you die... So let's see where this is... Okay, so this is in the phases for the crocodile. So that's okay. He's not triggered yet. And on character death. Wait a minute. On character death, we should make sure that the character isn't dead. Okay. Yeah, so the death, this gets run, I think. And it's... Yeah. So let's actually send a argument. Yeah. So we want a public class on character death event args, and we extend event args, right? And then we have a public bool is dead, for instance, and then here we send the on character death event arguments like that. And then on death, we don't just send empty, we do a new on character event death args. Do one of those, is dead equals value. Yeah, so this is dead is now that one there. And the value is whatever we set it to. Right, that's perfect. Okay, so now at least we should be able to go to our game manager, and here we should say if this should be something else, right? On I actually don't know. I can't remember how to listen to this. State machines. All the state machines just does this. Player state machine. Let's go check. No, not the state machine. The animators do this. Yeah. Animators listen to the state changes. That's not an animator. Oh, come on. There it is. Object sender player state machine dot on state change events args. Okay, so it's going to be character stats so dot on character deathhawks. Right, something like that. And then we just do an E. Okay, so if E dot is dead. Yeah, okay. So if the we only show this if it is not. So if is dead is so if somebody died, right? So is dead is true. So if this is true, we do that. Else we don't do anything. Yeah, that works. Yeah, so I think this is what is happening. It was starting, and then that sends a signal which changes something, right? And then it immediately does this. So only if we get a signal here that's actually death, do we do anything. Okay, cool. So let's try this again. And let's hope for the best. Okay, so we select the ranger. The game starts immediately. Fantastic. Okay, that's immediately way better. And it's wave 1, and the timer is running, so there should be enemies spawning, and there are. And what I can do is I can go to ranger stats. I can make the health like way lower, so we die a bit quicker. Okay. Kill us, guys. Kill us. Okay, let's take out the totem at least. Be like, no, it's my final act. I will. Oh, I didn't do it. Okay, so the ranger died. That is unfortunate. Now, obviously, we can make this delayed and stuff like that because this kind of looks dumb. But it's fine. Okay, so the ranger died. She didn't do anything. So current health is 0. And we can't select her. Okay, but we can take out the knight because he's still nice and healthy. And we can go clear the level. So let's clear the level and let's see what happens to the ranger. So the next wave, I shouldn't be able to pick her yet. I might be able to, I don't know. So it's possible that the button could already work. But she'll still have no HP. I think. I'm not sure. Okay, let's go get the other totem before we die again. Just like. Hello, Mr. Human Limits. Oh no, I'm stuck on a tree. How are you doing? Okay, let's take out this totem. And I need to clear out all these frogs. Die. Die, you froggy bastards. Oh, I'm just gonna die? I have 55 HP. I didn't even realize. I've been taking too many bombs to my face. Okay, and we did it. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay, no, the Robin Ranger button is still not working. But she should be... She should become alive once I've selected a new character. Ah, okay, yeah, this works. She also didn't get experience, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh, I'm doing pretty well, thank you. I'm doing pretty well. Got it. This game is so close to being demoable. Okay, let's just... I don't know. Attack speed for the knight doesn't feel that good. Damage for the knight feels amazing. Let's just get more damage. And let's get more movement speed for the owl. So, currently, I'm in a bit of a predicament. So, the chicken knight, low health, 35. Ranger, dead. Owl wizard, that's all I have. And this is now the final boss wave. Because, you know, in testing, the boss comes on wave 2. So this is going to be horrible because I think the chicken will regain his HP. The robin will still be dead. And the wizard, he's going to have to carry us. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So let's take the wizard and go fight the crocodile. Now, I do suspect this is going to go poorly for me. Oh, please, just fireball him. Oh, jeez. Okay, I dodged that one. Thank goodness. Why are you so slow, my guy? Okay. I can't get distance. I'm too slow. Okay. So, oh, interesting. So the select button actually became active again. But we haven't gotten health yet for the ranger. Interesting. Okay, so there's a bit of a bug there. But our knight is nice and healthy again, so we can go and choose him. Or we can continue with the owl. A lot of frogs will now spawn, so we need to get rid of the frogs. Fortunately, actually, the owl is pretty good at getting rid of frogs. Flip and run for your life, man. Ah, yes, we can make him get stuck on a tree. Oh no, I missed. I'm such a noob. I need to get professional playtesters to play my game because I suck. Okay. Next phase. Oh look, those guys are actually getting... Okay, so the robin is getting some health, which is unfortunate. She's getting experience. She shouldn't. She's still dead. Thanks, eh? You like the VFX? I also like them. Most of the VFX currently are from a effects that I bought on the Unity Play Store. So I just implement them. There are some effects that I do myself. All the character art, my wife does that. So these characters are our characters. Okay, so there's a bit of a bug here where if a character died just before the boss level, they do respawn, but they don't get their health back, which is kind of bad, right? So I have to go and fix that. But for now, let's get the Chicken Knight to finish the crocodile off. And some of these... Yeah, damage is good. Okay, let's finish off the crocodile. Yeah, let's just stick with the chicken eye. This is not meant to happen so quickly, right? It's just because... Okay, we actually won the round. Okay, that's good. So I should test this behavior when it's not the final boss level. Okay, so everybody dies because we killed the boss. And now this is just a standard level. Okay, let's try something quickly just to test one more case before we go into trying to debug this. Let's make the boss wave 3 and just reset that there. So I just want to see what actually happens when somebody dies and it's not the boss wave right after. Do I at least get the intended behavior in that case? Okay. So let's go. Let's see how this goes. Who do we want to sacrifice? Let's sacrifice the chicken. Right, but the chicken is a bit too tanky, so we'll just come in here quickly. Character health, 50. Okay, once he takes damage, that'll update. So let's just wait for somebody to hit him. There we go. We're already at 49 HP. Now, the chicken is still a bit strong, so he doesn't really matter. He doesn't really care about this on wave 1, but can at least get rid of one of the totems. Okay, come. Swarm me, little lizard guys. Do your worst. There, they're doing something. Okay. There we go. So the chicken is now dead. But he did get some level up. Because he did do some things. So I guess we can level him up. I suppose. Okay. So let's take the ranger and let's clear the level and see if the respawn works the way I want it to work. Definitely some bugginess going on here with some of these enemies. I don't know if that's something I can control or if that's like the nav mesh being buggy. I have no idea. And even if it is the nav mesh, it could still probably be my fault. So, you know, let's see. Come on, I need to end the level. Can't lose this guy as well. Come on. At least the ranger's fast, so that's always nice. For testing purposes. Okay. Okay, we got all the totems, so no more spawning for you. Let's get rid of the lizards. Okay, they're definitely not walking as fast as they can be. Okay. Now I just need to go frog hunting because they bugged. Okay, we got it. Okay, so the Chicken Knight's still dead. That's good. The Ranger can now be leveled, and the Wizard is also fine. Okay, so this is everything as expected. Okay, so all this works. Temperate, we'll just take the Ranger again, I guess. So she now doesn't get more health, but, you know. Oh, come on, can I just... Okay, we get rid of the totem. So basically what I want to see is... you know what, maybe I should do the behavior for the revive. I should do that a little bit differently now that I think about it. I think I should have a revive counter or something that checks how many waves the character was dead for. So technically we died in wave 1, right? Okay. So Knight was dead in wave 1. So during wave 2 he gets to be revived. Okay. Or, well, that's how it currently works. During wave 2, he gets revived. Or something like that. Okay, where are these frogs? Mr. Frog, where are you? Let's go out of 2D view. Oh, he found me. Okay. So he got some experience, which is also not really what I want to do because he should still be dead. So that was one wave, and now another wave should go by before he... this is already the final wave. Uh-huh. Okay, so this is still not really working. So I think I should implement something like a counter. But what I suspect is going to happen now is that when I start fighting the crocodile and his first phase ends... Ooh, got some chills there. As soon as the first phase goes by... Oh, jeez. Wizard, please don't die. Yeah, the chicken is back to full health. That's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah, that's cool, man. Your first little game. A horror game, no less. Nah, that's always cool. I think it's cool if people try to make things regardless of whether you're good at it, right? So that's the start. We all suck at this stuff at some point. I still kind of do. I have a lot of things I need to learn. But you know, you do a little bit every day, and eventually one day, you make something that's actually good or great. Or maybe it's not even that good yet, or at least it's not that good for you. Because this is the other thing, right? I feel like we can be hypercritical of our own work. And that, you know, you don't think your stuff is very good. But as soon as somebody else get their hands on it, they're like, yes, like, this is pretty nice. What you're doing here seems to be pretty good. But you hate it, right? It's like, nah, it sucks. It's terrible. And I think this is true with any art form, especially. Like, if you make a drawing, you're going to be like, nah, this is a terrible drawing. Or you write a song or whatever it is. It'll never be good enough. But other people might love it, right? But yeah, your first game, eh? That's good. And it will be full of bugs, and that's fine. Bugs are your friend. No, not really. But at least in the beginning, you can't really avoid them. They are part of a game dev life. Okay, so I'm thinking I should have a counter tick up for figuring out whether or not the knight can actually get revived. So it makes sense for that to be in the character stats scriptable object. Yeah, so we are dead. Okay. And alright, when you die, you set the value. Okay, that's fine. So when can we actually get revived? So what we can do here is we can make another public integer, and we can make this respawn wave counter. Something like this. Procedural textures. Yeah, I'm not doing anything that complicated. If you ask me to make procedural anything work, I'll probably not get there. The pipes are quite bad. Yeah, no, all my textures and stuff, it's... Yeah, nothing's procedural. I go into the level editor and I paint stuff. Or we go into Blender and we make it with textures inbuilt. And then you just apply a material in Unity. Right? Good old, easy way. Okay, so we can have a respawn wave counter. And we could also have a... Let's call it a serialized field. For instance. And we make it a private int respawn wave counter max, for instance. And I need to spell... Oh, geez. What the hell is my... Oh, my word. Okay, I just noticed that I didn't spell any words correctly now. my hands were probably not in the right place. So we do this to like 2, and I can change it if I want it in the inspector, but for now we just make it 2. Right, and now what we can do is we can pretty much say something like, so let's see, when do we actually want this to work? Okay, so when we are dead, a bunch of things can't happen, right? So level progress can't happen, health updates can't happen. What if we said that every time you try to update the health and you are dead, we actually just make the wave counter increment. And then when the wave counter reaches a certain value, we just switch our dead off and we actually update the health. So let's see, when would the wave counter, when would it try to update the health? So it will update the health when you select the next character in a new wave. Then it will try to update health. Okay, so you do that once, you do that twice, health is updated. On the third wave you play, then it'll be fine. What if we just make this 1? No, this doesn't make any sense now. Well, it makes sense, but let's see. So if we try health, we said, okay, if we are not dead, that's fine, just update the health. And then we can do an else if, and we can do a respawn wave counter. If respawn wave counter is less than respawn wave counter max, right? But we've tried to update the health, we can do respawn wave counter, and we can do plus plus, right? So we increment it. Okay, and now so it starts at 0, then it goes, oh, I can't update the health, then it goes to 1. Okay, then we go again and we see, oh, we are dead. Okay, we cannot actually, so that's the first time. Then the second time it comes around, the wave counter would be, so we can do else if our respawn wave counter is, let's say, greater than or equal to, just in case I missed something. And this might not work in the long run, right? So eventually I might do something like make it possible for the characters to heal during combat. And this could mess with all of this stuff, right? So we might have to change this later. Okay, but since we've tried to update the health, we know that the respawn wave counter must have changed, right? So if we are dead, this won't happen, and then this could happen, and if this doesn't happen, this could happen. So what happens here? So the first thing I think we should do is we should say is dead is equal to false. So we actually, in here, we resurrect the character, and so he's resurrected, so is dead is now false. We set the health value and we invoke our stat change. Okay, now I must say I kind of like this a little bit better. Okay, and we should make the respawn wave counter equals 0 again, right? So that if we want to redo this, we can. Okay, I do like what I've done here. Now, within our player manager now, where this happens, so this thing should not be able to resurrect characters ever. Okay, so normally the characters are resurrected through the applied stats. Applied stats can only try and change health. And yeah, when it changes health, it'll do the incrementation, and then finally it will resurrect the character or not. Okay, so let's try this again. So in Game Manager, what I think I'm going to do is going to push the boss wave to like wave 5. I don't want the boss involved right now. He's too much. Okay, so I'm going to die on wave 1, right? So you die on wave 1. Normally, on the next wave, you get all your HP back. At wave 3, you can play with a character again. So now what I want is, you die on wave 1, you should only be able to play that character again on wave 4 with full HP. So 2 waves have passed, 2 and 3. That's the idea. So let's see if that actually works. Okay, so let's go. Let's play. I don't think I changed anything that would cause issues. Yeah, no, I did not. Okay, so let's just run and kill these totems first before I make myself die, because the range is nice and fast and it's easy to kill totems. Maybe I shouldn't let the ranger die. Too late now. I've already selected the ranger. Okay, so the ranger gets some levels. Okay, so this is the other thing. So you still get your levels and you get to spend your experience that you earn during the level, even if you die. Right, I could change that if I wanted, but I don't want to. I think this is fair. Okay, we get the last totem. Oh, come on. Okay, last totem destroyed. And let's get rid of some of these frogs. Oh, I might just die the normal way without killing my character off manually. Okay, character scriptable objects. Let's go ranger stats. Okay. What do you say? Oh, explaining what I'm doing helps you understand what I'm doing. Well, that's the point. I hope it works that way. Yeah, I try to vocalize exactly what I'm planning on doing, right? It also helps me think about the problem a little bit better. So yeah, I'm glad it's nice for the viewers also. It certainly is nice for me, because that's the way I know what I'm doing. Okay, so let's give this guy some... So the knight now has a little bit more stats. This guy and this guy. Okay, so she's dead. I can't do anything there. Fine. Let's take out the knight. Let's go kill these 3 frogs quickly. Okay, he doesn't have any trouble clearing the level. That's fantastic. You also didn't really lose a lot of health, so we can just use him again. Against the lizards, it's perfect actually. So I can't do anything with the ranger. She's dead. Okay, it could be nice if I have some UI showing that she's dead. I might think about that. Okay, but let's go with the knight. Okay, I'm just gonna try and clear these waves as quickly as possible. Now, if I was a good dev, or I wouldn't say good, I could probably do it. It's just, it takes time, right? I should maybe develop some tooling for myself so I can like quickly and easily end waves if I wanted. I don't actually have to play the game every single time, because playing the game takes a while. Especially since I placed all these totems you know, so far away. I should actually be able to do that now, because I have a function that basically kills off everything when the crocodile dies. So technically, I could just make a button here, and give myself the ability to trigger that function, which will make these waves clear way faster. But anyway, it's also nice to play the game, because then people can see how the game plays. All the viewers. Okay, get rid of all these frogs, lizards. Don't want to die right now. Is that all of you? There's one guy left somewhere. I can smell him. Where are you, my guy? Oh, there's actually a small enemy and a frog stuck somewhere. Oh yeah, the guy comes. That's the small guy. He's dead now. Here's the frog. Just take it to the face. Okay, cool. Let's give him some. So yeah, this is still broken, right? I can't do anything here. So this is now going into wave 3. Okay, let's just make him full damage guy. 350 HP. You know what? Knight, let's go. You have the most experience, so I didn't actually check what this level was supposed to be. Is it a lot of frogs, or... Well, if I die, I can at least continue with the wizard, right? Or actually, now that I think about it, I'd probably be able to continue with the ranger already. Yeah, look, the ranger health was reset. Ha! Okay, so... Oops, I ran past. So I guess that's because I reset character stats at the start of a level instead of the end of the level. Okay, so once you go up another level... Okay, that's fine. I think I like that. So as soon as you go to the new wave, everybody gets a nice heal immediately, right? So even if the chicken now dies on this wave, the ranger's already revived. Now technically, I shouldn't be able to use the ranger until, you know, the wave's ended, because the chicken is clearing the wave. So you can't just choose characters willy-nilly. The only way I can get access to the ranger now is by killing the chicken, which is not ideal, because then he sits out for too long. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's good. But since she's already revived, she should be also getting experience. Right? So we can check. Okay, she was revived. I can select her now, but she didn't get a lot of experience. That might be because of the level difference and the progress. The level progress could be the problem there. Yeah, because even the wizard didn't get a lot of experience, and yeah, he gained 1 level, and the level difference is much higher. And I think 5 is one of those threshold levels. Okay, cool. So the Robin is back in action, and we can play with the Robin again. And she's nice and strong because she got some experience from the first wave, so that is fine. I like this. Okay, so that works. Very good. Okay, now obviously when all of your characters have died, you would need to restart the game. Actually, what would that look like? Let's go. Character health 2. Okay, so the ranger's dead. Again. This ranger. Okay, select the knight. Character health 2. Okay, so the knight's dead. Great. So our only hope is the wizard now. Wizard fights for his life. Let's go to his stats. And health 5. Wizard's dead. So we are completely locked out in this screen. Okay, so that's good. I like that. That works. Now what I could do is add a button to just restart, for instance. But everybody's dead. So dead. We can make UI across here so that, it's very clear that they are dead. And then we can have a restart button or something, or main menu button that takes you back to the main menu. You can restart the game. I like that. Very good. Some good progress today. Okay, I think that's been me for 3 hours and a little bit. So I'm gonna head off. It was a good 3 hours. Stream was nice and stable, which is nice. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe you've learned something. That would be a bonus. But in either case, have a good day wherever you are. If it's Sunday already where you are, have a good day. If you are still on a Saturday, have a good evening. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, the same time, same place, for another 3 hours of game dev. Roughly. Cheers.